Hi there, welcome to Ash & Co Workshops. This is the instruction video for how to build one of our kitty cats. Now, like all of our kits, they go together quite simply, and then after that it's kind of up to you. You can make it a kitty cat with loads of hair or no hair, it can have a tail or no tail. It can be whatever you want it to be, and that's really the beauty of Ash & Co Workshops, but it's your design, not ours. So let's get stuck into this kit and you can see how I would build one. And then you can go and build your own kit and see what else you can make from the extras. Okay, so I'm going to change to another view so you guys can see from on top, okay? Okay, so I've got my kitty cat box here, and let's open it up and see what's in the box. But before we do that, you can see I've got myself a little hammer, a pair of pliers, and then just a block of wood that I can use for a sanding block. You could use anything at all. There is another way to do it as well, which I'll show you in a minute. But let's move those out of the way for now. Okay, so this is our kitty cat box. I'm going to open that up, and I've chosen the super glue option. So we've got our little Hello Maker, a £5 voucher there. We've also got some safety instructions for using super glue. Please make sure you read those. We've got a little piece of sandpaper. We've got some wool. We've got a furry thing. We've got some gloves there if you want to use them, some super glue, a little head for the super glue, and a whole range of other stuff. We've got a whole bag of little accessories. We've got some blocks, and then we've got some wires and stuff as well. Okay, so I'm going to move this to one side. We can use that later on. So here, this is our basic kitty, and you will see that we've got here a body block, and we've got a head block like this. And then we've got some accessories here as well. We've got a couple of cat ears. We've got some wires as well, okay? So let's get on with showing you how to put the kitty together. Okay then, so I'm going to start off with a pair of pliers. You can see here that the kitty's been drilled. It's got 6 holes in, and that is for its whiskers. Now I think first of all we need to sand that back, because as you can see it's a little bit rough. So I'm going to get my little sanding block and my sandpaper like this, and I'm going to fold it over at the edges and then hold it nice and tight like this over my block. Now the other way you can do this is to put it on the bench flat and hold it like this, and we can rub the piece of wood on the sandpaper instead. But I prefer to do it with a sanding block, so I'm going to do that. Okay, so I've got my sanding block. I'm going to give it a quick sand, just make sure I've got rid of any marks. Okay, and you can sand this as much or as little as you like. You can see already it hardly needs any sanding. These sharp edges here, I suggest you just go over those a tiny bit just to take the edge off. It's called taking the arris off, and it's the sort of sharp bits where it's been the wood's been machined. And we can make that really nice and rounded if you want to, or you can just take the edges off however much you want to. So for this video, I'm just going to leave it like that. Same for the body block. Just go over it. There might be some machining marks on it, so you can sand it as much or as little as you want. Just going to take the arris off, like this. Same on this one. And that'll stop the wood from splitting if it gets dropped on the floor or anything like that. Okay, that'll do for me, I think. Then I've got my, my dowel here. I might just sand the edges of that as well, make sure that's nice and clean as well. Okay then, so this is our kit. This is how we're going to start off. We could just put the head and body together, but this bit here is quite tricky. So I think the best way to do this is with a pair of pliers. If you don't have a pair of pliers, you can do this by hand. You get a piece of this wire like this, and you poke it in the hole like that, and you give it a poke like that and bend it over. And then you can use a pair of scissors to cut it if that's what you want to do. But because I've got a pair of pliers, I'd like to show you a different technique. So if you hold the wire, hopefully you guys can see this, about this far back there, okay, and then you can put it over the hole like this. I'm just going to give it a turn and twist as we push it in, and that way I know it's gone all the way in. Now I'm going to cut this in half now, like so, and leave that sticking out like this. Now I want to match that on the other side, so I'm going to put this piece of wire in the other side. So again, I'm going to hold it with the pliers like so, about that far back, and then push and twist at the same time, okay? Give it a twist, and then use the pliers then to make sure it's gone in all the way. Now you can put a little bit of glue in this hole if you want to, and then push the wire in, and it'll help hold it in, but they should be okay anyway. So I'm going to do the same with this, just going to cut this piece in half, If you haven't got wire cutters, you can use scissors. I don't know if I said that already, but you can use scissors. It's just aluminium wire, so it's very soft. Okay, so this one, I'm going to have to hold it right on the end of the pliers here because it's quite tight up to the next one there, as you can see. So I'm going to twist and push, twist and push. Okay, and that's that one in. And then I'm going to do this one here again, hold it about this far back like that. Put it over the hole and twist like so. Give that a good push, make sure that's in there. Okay, and then finally we've got a little bit of wire left here, so I'm just going to nip that in half. And I'm going to put that in the hole as well. Okay, so that's that one in. Same again, hold it a little bit back, maybe a bit further than that. The reason we do this, by the way, is so that you know it's definitely gone in far enough. Because otherwise it's really difficult to tell whether it's gone in or not. So you have to watch for these wires bending a little bit as you do it, but you'll know once they've gone in if you hold it with pliers. Okay then, so you can see now I've got all of these wires in place. So what I'd like to do now is bend them over just a little bit. So I'm going to bend them over like so. Bend this one over like so, like this. Okay, now I want to make these all the same length, and as you can see, they're not. So either with a pair of scissors, one by one, or with a pair of cutters like this, you can just line them up like this, get it as straight as you can, and give it a cut. There you go. That's those three done. Then I'm going to turn it around and try and match those on the other side. I want them to be roughly the same. Actually, they're not quite the same. These ones are a bit shorter. Okay, brilliant. Now take care of these bits here because they can be a bit rough. So if I were you, I would get a piece of sandpaper and just go like this over the tips of the wire. It just takes off any sharp bits. Okay, great. So now if I fold those back, just push them with my thumb. Separate them if you can. Push it with my thumb. Push it with my thumb. La 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 la. There you go. Ah, there you go. That's my whiskers for my cat. Now I think I'm going to bend mine down a bit. Quite fancy mine being a bit more kind of like that, maybe. There you go. What do you think of that? That's good, right? So now what we need to do is get the dowel and put it in this hole here. So I'm going to put this dowel in. If you've got any wood sticking around there, just get the sandpaper or push it away with your hands and put the dowel in the hole. If the dowel is really tight, this one's quite loose actually, but if the dowel's really tight, you can get a hammer and just hammer it in, or a little block, or just tap it on the bench that you're working on and get it in there. And then I can attach this to the body. So the body has a little hole in the side, which you will see as well. You can put that whichever way round that you want. But essentially all we do is twist, and that should go on there now. Okay, great. So just twist and push it on. There you go. So this is my cat body coming together. Now, from this point, you've got lots of different options available to you. So I'm just going to show you how to do the ears. So these are the little cat ears. Oh, I dropped it. These are the little cat ears that I've got here. You want to sand those, but I suggest putting the sandpaper on the bench like this and sand the bottom. This is the bit that you're going to stick onto the cat because you want that to be nice and smooth so that the glue works properly. But I'm just going to sand these all the way around. You just give them a little sand, they don't need a lot really. Again, if you've got kind of furry edges like this, you can just go over it by hand like this, with or without a block, whichever you prefer. But it's up to you how you want your cat to look really, how much effort you want to put in. Okay, so this one's definitely a bit rough. I'm going to just put it on there, give it a quick sand like that. There we go, that's nice and smooth. I'm going to get that bottom part so it sticks properly. Okay, awesome. So that's my two ears. So now then, in your pack, you'll see you've got a pack of super glue if that's what you ordered. If you didn't order super glue, then you can use any type of glue, a glue gun, which you can get off our website, and PVA glue is fine too, but obviously PVA glue takes, I don't know, half an hour probably to set, so it'll take you a lot longer to build your character. If you've ordered the super glue, however, all you do is you get the top like this, and you get this bit, and you screw it together, and when you screw it together, it will pop open the the closed seal in here. Be careful when you do that you don't squeeze this too hard or else the super glue will shoot out. But you do this up like this all the way, and then you just break off the top part, okay? I've done one of these earlier on, and this top part then becomes your lid like this, okay? So you just screw it on like that, and then this is your lid, okay? So I'm going to use this one. Okay then, so I've got my super glue here. Now be very careful when you use this. It's quite runny, and that's what the gloves are for in your pack. You can choose to wear those or not. Okay then, so first of all I'm going to stick my ears on. So you can see you just want to use a tiny amount of super glue. Even that's probably a little bit too much, okay? So it comes out quite quickly. So I'm just going to put my cat ears about there. I'm just going to push it down and then hold it for about 30 seconds, or just leave it alone. And then do your next one. Now that's more about the amount of super glue that you should put on there, something like that. And then I'm going to put that here about here like this. Oops. Okay, so you just hold on to that for about 30 seconds and then that will dry off. You'll see it should get a tack after a few seconds. Okay, always put your lid back on your super glue while you're working in case you catch it. Okay, so this is my cat coming together now. Now from this point here, what you do from here is entirely up to you. You have got a bag of bits here which has all sorts of things in. No two packs are the same, so you've got all sorts of different little bits and bobs in here. So in my pack here, I've got a cute little flower, I've got a massive star, I've got hair for curls, I've got a kind of scrap bit of wood, I've got a bolt, maybe he wants an antenna or something in the middle, I've got a little peg, I've got some buttons. So you've got all of this stuff here that you can use. So you just pick whatever you want to do. I think for my character to make it nice and quick, I'm just going to choose 2 eyes. Don't much like this one. Maybe I'll go with 2 black eyes. No, I don't much like that either, so there you go, got a good option there. And then I need something for a nose. Maybe I'll use a star as a nose. No. This little piece of wood here, a little bit of a dowel, I think that looks good, so I'm just going to sand that. He looks pretty weird. I'm going to go for that. Okay, so I'm going to glue these things on. Now with the super glue, just in case I didn't mention it, you only apply it to one side. And if you apply too much, it'll take a really long time to stick. So you just want a really tiny amount, okay? And as soon as you've got it in position, just leave it alone and let it set, okay? If you put too much on and you're struggling, it's moving around, the best bet is to just leave it alone. Okay, I think they're sticking already, that's great. And then I'm going to stick my little nose on here, just a tiny bit of super glue on there. Ooh, a bit too much. Okay, there we go, and there's my nose. Okay then, so from here, the little hole in the side, you can do, we put a screw in there for you, so you can screw on a little tail like this. You just need a normal crosshead screwdriver, and you can just screw that on, and then that's your cat with a little tail like this. And the other option you've got, you should have one of these in your pack, a little pipe cleaner, and these actually will slide straight into that hole, so you can push that in there like that. Hopefully you can see that, and that just slides in. Look, and then I've got my cat's tail. I kind of like these because you can sort of bend them around a bit like a real cat's tail, you know, kind of a bit like that. Maybe not like that. Maybe more a bit like that. Or if I pull it out, you can curl it around your finger as well, and I kind of like that effect as well. So yeah, maybe my cat has a curly tail. Great stuff. And you can put a little bit of glue in that hole if you want to, and that'll hold that in place. Okay then, so now I've got all this stuff left here. I'm not sure whether I want to use it or not. I think my cat looks pretty perfect. I kind of like him with a star on. So I'm going to put a little star on him. Start thinking about a name for my cat. Felix. Yeah, I think Felix. It's not very original, is it? But the Felix. Okay, that's cool. And then we've got all sorts of different scraps left over here. So that's my kitty done. I kind of like him like that. So I could add hair on if I wanted to and make it a bit of a crazy kitty. But I think I don't want to. I really like it like this. So I'm going to leave that as my kitty. And then I'm going to see what else I can make from all of this stuff. I don't know, what can we come up with? Let me think about it and I'll come back to you. Okay, so I've had an idea. I kind of thought I could use this as a body and maybe I can make another little character. So I'm going to use the screws here as arms. I'm going to try and screw those in just enough to hold. It might split the wood, but yeah, no. Let's give it a go. Give that a screw on it. Okay, I got one in. Maybe I can do the other side now. It's going to be a lot trickier, I think. And then it won't fall off. And then look. Hello! I love that. Hey, Kaiser, he's my crazy hair little dude. And then look, I've still got all of this stuff left. So you can see, you guys can come up with all sorts of things. Maybe you can make a bunch of flowers for your mum. Oh, here you go, Mum. Happy Mother's Day. You could do that. There's all sorts of different things that you can still make with this kit. We've still got all of this stuff here. The point of it is that these characters are your characters to do with what you want, and they should be your creations, not ours. We'd love to see photos when you've made them as well. So we'll switch back to the other view and finish off. Okay, that brings us to the end of our instructional video. I hope you enjoy making one of your characters or cars or rainbow, whichever one that you chose, and that you make something completely unique that's completely your own. We use really high quality woods, and we give you as many accessories as we can possibly afford so that you can make something that really is yours, not something that we designed. And I think that's what makes the difference with Ash & Co Workshops. That's really what we're all about, whether it's a car or a rainbow or any of the characters. So we hope you agree, I hope you have a great time, and please, please, please send us photos, videos of all of the stuff that you've made. We're going to put it on a massive gallery, especially while we're in the lockdown period. We just really, really want to keep a track of everything everybody's making, because we just think it's awesome. So have fun, everybody, stay safe, and big love to you all. Mwah.